Good evening. Steps for success, perspective from my porch. As you can tell, once again, I'm not on my porch. So I'm going to be out in my room for a little bit. We've been talking about stress and the stress factors that we have. Um, One of the things that causes us stress is a crisis. Crisis in our lives causes us stress a lot. Um, as we go through a crisis, we have to develop what they call a distress tolerance. A distress tolerance is that when we can identify what's going on in our lives, we can build up this wall to stop the stress, basically. A distress tolerance is like a lighthouse. In other words, we're going to get warned that the same thing over and over. I was talking to a friend of mine, and they said, it's interesting that the same things over and over are causing me stress. We have to be able to break that cycle. If you know something causes you stress, then we need to be able to avoid it. The problem with distress tolerance is that it's just a short term solution. It's something that we can do periodically. It's something that we can say is one of those, well, I'll just work it out. I'm going to get over this. But the problem is that a lot of times we don't get over it. We just have to, after a while, we have to work it out. We have to be able to avoid those situations. Don't overuse this skill of I can work it out. I can work it out. What happens is that after a while, your tolerance goes down, and you're getting more and more stressed without realizing you're getting stressed. Your blood pressure or your anxiety, it'll pick up. So therefore, don't overuse this. It'll work out. It'll work out. It'll work out. And yes, it does work out a lot of times, but we have to be able to encounter that anxiety, that stress, whatever's coming our way, and we have to deal with it. When we are stressed, we have to use some kind of de-stressing, exercising. I find that when I'm stressed out, one of the things that I do is I go outside the house and I walk around the house, or I start doing physical labor. One of the problems with stress, let me back up. One of the problems with stress is that we overthink. A lot of times we're overthinking and overthinking. We during this time we're going through the COVID situation, we overthink, and some people constantly think about it. But we have to stop at some point thinking about it and live life. And I know it's part of our life, guys. I really do know it's part of our life, but we can't make it the focal part of our lives. We cannot make it the focus of our life. There's a lot of other things out there that we can concentrate on. Happiness, we can concentrate, and I know a lot of y'all have gone through these problems, but we can concentrate on the happy things of life. When we're stressed, we need to exercise. We need to, and I'm not saying go to a gym or something. Just go walk outside. I sit outside on my porch during the day. Uh, I pick up leaves. I rake leaves, uh, and I do a little exercise. I'll do little things here and there. I'll wash dishes. When we're stressed, we need to be able to breathe. And I said, everybody says, breathe. You know what? Well, sometimes we just got to close our eyes and just take some deep breath and say, okay, there's got to be a positive somewhere. There's got to be a positive. Muscle relaxation. I was taught this years ago when I was in college back in the 80s. Wow, that's a long time. The muscle relaxation. And basically, you sit there and you tell your legs to relax, and you convince them to relax, and after a while you convince your arms to relax, your jaws to relax, and you just talk to yourself, relax, relax, and you just become one with yourself. That's where you become relaxed. After a while you just talk to yourself, and that pulls you away from the stress and the anxieties. Don't overthink the problems. Don't add stress to the stress that you have. Sometimes we will stress out because we're stressing out about things already. Don't overthink it, guys, especially during this time of the year. Don't overthink things. Just take one step at a time. One step at a time. Uh, don't overthink things, and I think that's one of the biggest issues that we have, is that we overthink. As we continue next on Thursday, talking about stress, I want you to look at yourself. I want you to look and see what causes you stress in your life. What is causing stress in your life? What and identify that. And then let's figure out how to avoid that stress. Let's figure out how to de escalate that stress. Just like our anger, let's learn how to de escalate. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I know these are going a little bit longer than I wanted to do it. I'm going to try to keep them under 5 minutes, but I know I'm not right now. Love yourself more than anybody else, because once you love yourself more than anybody else, you control your situation. You control your future. You control yourself, and nobody will convince you to do otherwise until you love yourself. Once you love yourself, nobody can control you. Thank you. Have a great night.